Coming at you from Scratch and Wolf Studio. It's that time again to rage across the internet. It's your very favorite War of the Apocalypse podcast. As always, I'm your host, Porter. Sitting to my left, I think, therefore he's CJ McCall.
Howdy, y'all.
Coming into my right, he is the man that is never without a black cat, Mr. Daniel Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
And dead center, all the way over there, it is the Crawfish Queen. It's M.
Hello, hello.
Hey, everybody, how we doing?
Doing pretty good, and then with that competition over there, I think that's just default.
I think it is. I think you're right. There was no contest. I ran unopposed.
So welcome, everybody, to Rage Across the Internet. If this is your first time, this is the show where we talk about various aspects of War of the Apocalypse for storyteller and player alike and new to experienced. If this is not your first show, well, welcome back. And it is, thanks to the Timeverse, just past Halloween.
Yeah. Kind of a bummer.
Yep.
Yeah, spooky season is over. We did our October backer night last night.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Special wheel.
Yep.
Specifically for Halloween.
Just for Halloween, I stacked it with, I felt, the best little something for everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Carefully picked. And Danny got to see Terrifier too.
Yep.
Exciting.
I watched Terrifier 2. I watched it. And it was fun. We'll
survived.
that. I survived. It was a fun time. I didn't like the movie, but I had a fun time hanging out with everyone.
Oh, I tell you, he tried when he got here today.
Mm-hmm.
I go and see, and you're fine. He's like, well, I'm not. I'm like, you are fine. Shut up.
You're here, right?
Your arms and legs, everything. Yeah, you were fine. Shut up.
Yeah.
He had nightmares all last night.
Your arms aren't broken. Your scalp is still on top of your head. Yeah, you're fine.
You are fine. You did it. You watched a movie and survived.
Oh.
We watched a movie with a clown that's also a mime and survived.
It's a climb. We also did Monster Squad, which is a
classic.
Love Monster Squad. A lot of people there had never seen it before.
Right.
So that was a fun treat.
Give me the amulet, you bitch. He talks to a 5-year-old little girl and says that.
I love Dracula calling a 5-year-old a bitch.
And definitely one of my favorite portrayals of Dracula to date.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
I mean,
Just from, not giving a shit and just walking up, not afraid to throw hands or dynamite.
Or call little girls bitches, for that matter. No fear.
Little, like a 5-year-old.
Right. Such a good time.
Yeah.
It doesn't, maybe how we're describing Monster Squad, it doesn't. But, it's like Goonies versus Monsters.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, someone told me, because they haven't heard of it before. So I explained to them, no, it was, I guess just watch the trailer. The movie's from 1987. And she goes, it's kind of like Ghostbusters. I'm like, it was 3 years later, so I guess kind of, but instead of ghosts, it was Dracula and a werewolf and a mummy and a swamp thing
It's
and
not Swamp
Frankenstein's.
Thing. 4 people called the Gillman Swamp Thing last night. It's a creature from the Black Lagoon.
But I'm also trying to explain it to a 27-year-old who's never seen any of these things.
I feel like Swamp Thing's a specific guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm just saying, I was trying to quickly explain it to a 27-year-old who had no clue what these were.
I just feel like that's describing a human being as Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, there were 3 Abraham Lincolns walking down the street. I didn't like the look of it. I don't know.
Some John Humans.
Mercy. This episode, though, while it might be just after Halloween for us, this one is coming out December 16th. So,
oh shit!
It's the season to still be talking about Halloween.
So we've already had the other movie night since then.
Yeah, and also, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody who's celebrating those right now. Because
yeah, I think this is technically a Christmas episode, then, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. It is
minor correction. December 2nd.
Oh, okay, cool. We're not that far ahead. Then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. December 2nd. Sorry.
Welcome to the Cyberverse, people.
Right.
Because Christmas will be actual play potentially.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, we kind of started without announcing it, but hey, before we get into the topic at hand, we do a little thing called This Week in Bullshit. Danny,
What do I got?
tell us about This Week in Bullshit.
We'll make it fast and quick or whatever.
That's nothing new, but continue.
Yeah. Okay, so on the last post-mortem episode, we had talked a real quick thing about Sami the Ghost. And it was a quick news story on the radio show here, like back in 1997. So
I mean, it was a real news story. This was international. This was international news because that shit happened in Canada.
Yes, if you want to say a quick version of it, go for it.
I'll make it real quick.
Yeah.
The story of Sami the Ghost. It was the first techno ghost. This family was being haunted by the Sami the Ghost, who would show up on their phone calls. And I'm Sami, and the lights would flicker on and off in the house. And like they changed their number and they moved and they were haunted by Sami the Ghost, who was totally not their son, just picking up the phone.
Because you used to be able to do that on landlines, people.
Right.
So we had talked about it on the last postmortem, and as I was doing the edit for it, I was like, you know what, I'm going to look this up real quick. Maybe we can talk about it. But I laughed so hard at the information I did find that I saved it for now. But the radio show here, Drew and Mike, they actually sent out paranormal investigators. And because Windsor being so close to Detroit, they sent one from Windsor and one from Detroit. The one from, or Detroit-based, we'll say that. The Detroit-based investigator just says, there's nothing here. I don't see anything. I've got nothing. All my paranormal equipment, nothing. The Windsor-based one, readings off the chart. Have no idea what's so crazy going on here, but it's big, and it's going to hurt somebody.
You're turbo haunted, or it's a guy.
I think it's the exchange rate.
Yeah, but
it's the same level of reading. It's just the exchange rate made it seem like a bigger deal.
But there's the thing. It was Dateline. I know we were talking, maybe it wasn't Dateline, but it was Dateline adjacent. No, it was actual Dateline. And again, it was international news because it was Windsor. But yet, it was exactly the thing. It was their son just playing tricks whenever someone picked up the phone.
They moved over that.
Yeah.
How old was this kid?
Oh, I don't remember the actual age, but I want to say like,
I'm going to guess like 7.
I think it was like 7, 8, something like that.
See, my heart, I wanted to say 15, but I don't know.
I don't remember
Either
seeing the
way,
age.
A+.
Right. I want to find him. We should hunt down Sami in real life. Find out where Sami is now.
Would Drew and Mike
Come on the show for an interview?
Hey.
Drew and Mike have a lexicon on their page.
Yeah.
So I went looking for this, and I tried finding it, and I went different. And I'm sure if I spent more time, I could get a little bit more. But there was a bunch of YouTube videos. But then you go to click them, and the videos aren't even available anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, you sent me a news article, and all the links in that article are now defunct. But put the article in the show notes.
All right.
So people will know that we're not making Sami up.
Yep.
And it was, they call him the Samiville Horror. And it was supposed to, it was a play on the Amityville Horror. So,
You think?
So yeah, that's my quick
perfect.
real thing of This Week in Bullshit is looking that gem up from 1997.
You know, I'll go next.
All right.
Because this is slightly related.
Well, perfect.
You know, this is a real tale of horror, and electricity is also involved.
Oh, wow.
And it's also part of a local story.
Sweet.
So, and again, time reverse, right? Early December here. We are a month behind. It is November 2nd right now for us.
Yep.
So a month ahead, whatever, shut up.
We know what you meant.
So recently, the FBI stopped a an alleged terrorist plot here in Michigan.
Huh.
So you weren't aware of this either?
No.
It was reported that there was a terrorist plot set for Halloween that had been thwarted. Hooray for the good guys, right? And it's cool.
Sweet.
Fucking did civilians is bad or whatever. I don't know but this is relevant because again, it was supposed to be a plot on Halloween.
Kind of scary.
Right. Well, so Halloween, I'm here. It's about midnight. I was hanging out with CJ for a little bit, actually, over on, and I went to go crash out, get some nightly shit done before I crash out.
Sure.
And it's not midnight.
But it's getting close.
It's around midnight. Give me 10, 15 either way. And the fucking power goes out.
Nice.
Of course it does.
The power.
Great time.
Right. And again, I bring up this report from the FBI. Because a terror attack on midnight, it's about,
Midnight.
on Halloween.
If not midnight.
And the power went out.
Yikes.
So straight up, I'm like, Jesus Christ, did they not catch them all? Is this a thing now? Is the purge about to happen?
Oh, fuck. Lock the doors.
Real story. I'll admit, I got a little concerned for a minute.
I don't blame you. Especially if that's like the last thing you just looked up.
Well, I mean, not last. It's just it was in the news feed. Like fucking, it was reported. Yeah. And Michigan, plot terrorists in Michigan and Halloween, and it's midnight and the power goes out.
Yeah, no, with all
That's
that.
not an accident. Jesus Christ, what are we in for?
She didn't thwart all of it.
Yeah, with all that, probably be, get the dogs inside, get everything locked, bust open the safe.
Right, I called up the DT. I'm like, fix this, and then
I'd like to go to sleep.
I would like to, but I don't feel comable going to sleep.
Right, that's
I was planning to. If you could have done this 20 minutes later, I'd have been out. And woke up immediately right when the TV stopped working because the lack of noise. So that's this is the thing. I didn't like. We had backer night since. I didn't mention this to anyone because I was saving it for today.
That's perfect.
Nice.
What you got?
Mine is less scary and more triumphant.
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals has had that zombie mode.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So good.
And this morning I finally beat Nightmare 4.
Oh shit! Nice.
What'd you
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I've been trying on that for like the last week, just playing Nightmare 4 over and over again, trying to beat it. Finally got it. I've been playing Magic.
Magic. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you do it single? Solo?
No, God, no.
Okay. Hey.
That's the next challenge.
No, I was in the normal team of 4.
Okay. Hey, I'm just asking.
I might try it. It's only going to be up for like a day or two after this, but
I thought it was the 14th.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
It's open.
I didn't look at the dates. I just see that the missions run out in like a day or two. So it could be open after the missions are even closed. Anyways, I might try to do it solo, but if I do that, I think I will do it on Blade since he has the natural lifesteal, and that is pretty helpful in Nightmare 4. But I've only played Blade once, so
it's really you're gonna hold R2.
Yeah, well, she uses mouse
I play
keyboard.
with a keyboard and mouse,
So
I'll be holding left click.
No, you don't even need that. Yeah, you just hold the mouse button. Yeah, left click. You're right. I don't know what the buttons are for.
Wow, Danny.
I realized what I did.
Left click.
Yes.
When you ding.
I see. I thought you said shift click, but I was talking over you, and I apologize. And then I realized you didn't, so I said yes. You're right.
CJ, what do you got for us?
kind of stole it just a little bit because I was going to bring up the zombie mode and how absolutely crazy and that was getting on game night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where we were unlocking different levels of absolute insanity with some of these characters. Like each time like somebody mentioned something ridiculous that was going on with their character, just naturally through playing the game, because we were running 2 groups of 4 at one point.
That's correct.
Each time somebody mentioned something ridiculous that was going on, somebody else achieved something else.
Yep.
There was a point in the game that I was playing Punisher and there were more bullets than pixels on my screen.
Yep. I
And it
remember
was just
playing
like-
once when Jeff was just all my screen. My screen was just Jeff.
Yep. But that's a fun game mode that I hope sticks around in some capacity.
I agree.
Like if it doesn't, that's kind of criminal because that's just too much dumb fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got like the levels that are all about the vampires and taking out Dracula, so you can't say it's not because of the season being over.
That's true.
Well, I sent Porter, I sent you that video. They were talking about having that same mode with different versions. Because, like, they only have certain characters to play.
Oh, perfect.
So, like, well, we'll do the same thing later with this set of characters. And it sounds like they're going to keep it around with different ideas behind it. So, it's cool.
Yeah, definitely be something I'd be interested in playing Rivals more than whenever I'm not feeling competitive.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah, the PvE modes, this has been a blast. But that has also been This Week in Bullshit.
Yeah.
So on to the subject at hand. It is time. It's been a while.
It's been a very long while.
And this will be a big surprise to you if you don't know how to read. Because otherwise you've read the episode title.
Yeah.
It is time for another edition of the Practical Theurge. Our series where we go over the intricacies of being a Theurge in a practical manner. It's really in the title. It's right there, honestly.
Yeah. I'd say it's probably one of our favorite series.
Definitely.
Well, we all kind of agreed the Theurge is kind of probably the most complex of all the auspices.
Oh, easily. There's so many moving parts.
Yes, all the auspices have their pros and cons, and they all have their, complexities to them, but Theurge is probably the most complex and requires the most homework.
It's also, in my mind, probably the most werewolf, the apocalypse thing you can introduce into the game outside like the Galliard, because it interacts with every aspect of werewolf.
Yeah, the spiritual side is half of what Garu are, so it's important to know how to interact with it and what's going on in the Umbra.
No, and that's why we have the series.
Absolutely.
It's, again, Practical Theurge, pretty cut and dry, pretty, on the nose, but not everything's that simple.
No, never is.
Which brings us
And this topic,
yes, which brings us to the topic. And what is that?
Our topic today is manifestations and physical representations of abstract spirits and epiphs.
That's a lot. That was so much stuff.
Was it though? But see, you need the Practical Theurge.
I do.
Yes.
that just summed up to Epiphs and Epiphlings to me.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's an Epiphlings.
And I mean, this is the thing, right? Is there are everything has a spirit. There's spirits of everything, and it's easy to talk about the raccoon spirit, the squirrel spirit. We can talk about the totems. We can talk about the spirit of the tree or the spirit of a river.
It's even easy to talk about like city spirits and putting ideas together from those, because everything there is a lot more physical. We have actual visible representation of what these things are.
Exactly. But what happens when you need to convey the spirit of guilt or darkness or the color blue.
Jealousy, hate.
Right? These type of spirits also exist.
That's going to vary between storyteller to storyteller, too.
Or even spirit and spirit.
Porter, with that darkness one specifically, I think me and you had like a talk sort of theory crafting what a spirit of like night could be like, aside from just, darkness or like the outline of a shadow or something. And I remember that was one that I had some fun coming up with, just every little bit of set dressing around the spirit itself. Because, yeah, that's the big thing with these manifestations of abstract spirits. You're allowed to be as creative as you want. Because, yeah, it's what does this spirit look like? Well, what does night look like? What does night sound like?
No, you're absolutely right. The idea of how to take those kind of spirits, those more conceptual spirits, the ones without your direct physical relation, it can be very difficult. But it's very important to look at that and how the best portray them, how the best to describe them, and how to factor in those interactions. And it's important here is there are regular spirits, right? And then there are those spirits that embody concepts and ideas. And those are called Epiphlings. All right. That spirit of nostalgia is an Epipling. It's not a standard spirit, it's an Epipling. It's got its own special class. Now, mostly Epiphlings are Gafflings. However, they can be found as Jaglings, and very rarely Incarnas, but mostly I couldn't give you an Incarna off the top of my head, but in terms of Jaglings, a great example is the Clashing Boom Boom.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Right.
I didn't even think about it, but then you say Clashing Boom Boom. Yep, that is an Epipling.
Right? Like it's a war. I mean, it's a totem.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is the war totem, right?
Yeah, it is the epiph of war, essentially. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, there are war spirits all over the place. You put a war spirit in a clave. That's how you make it a clave, right?
Right.
But you don't just put Clashing Boom Boom.
Exactly. You don't put Clashing Boom Boom in a clave.
This isn't just a war. This is capital W.
Yep.
War.
Capital War. It's like the card game and shit,
Yep.
And it's interesting to note about the Clashing Boom Boom. And I think that it's probably the best way to start with this, because it is a known entity to everybody.
Yeah.
Theoretically. You've gone through your totem list, you've seen Clashing Boom Boom. Okay.
Yep.
And how does he look? Clashing Boom Boom is portrayed by, quote, the pinnacle of war technology at the time. And that's actually a paraphrase and a quote.
Yeah. I don't remember which book it is. It might be Umbra 20, but I think Clashing Boom Boom is portrayed like in a bit of art as like a B-2 bomber with a spider on its back, like painted on its back.
The last time I remember reading his entry, he actually took on the guise of a stealth bomber.
Yep. That's what B2 is.
Well, shut up.
We just had different levels of nerd right there.
There you go. I mean, I didn't know that Weaver shit, so I don't know.
Yep.
Look, if we were meant to fly, we'd all be serving owl. All right, we'd have Red Bulls and owls, and that'd be it.
Yay.
That's exactly it, right? Because his appearance has changed over the years as technologies, so it's the pinnacle of. Mm-hmm. And that's something interesting to know, because you now know that the appearance of these epiphs, it does vary. It can change. It can be different. It's not necessarily the same every time. And now, when we're talking about epiphs, or epiphlings, excuse me, we also have to talk about epiphs. And this is not like a matter of plural versus singular. Mm-hmm. This isn't a fomor versus fomori issue.
Right.
Yeah.
See, the epiphlings are the spirits themselves. And we need to set this up first, because we're going to be talking about both the whole time, and we don't want anyone to get confused. You might anyway.
Yeah, might anyway, and I might anyway. I'm close.
Which is why we're defining this right now.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
pay attention. Epiphlings are the spirits that embody concepts and ideas. Epiphs themselves are ideas or concepts that become pocket realms.
Yep.
Oh.
Straight Umbra 20, they exist as purified solitary concepts or conceptual experiences. The idea that has become a pocket realm, they unfiltered singular concepts sketched into the entirety of the realm.
So an epithling is a thing, an epiph is a place.
Yes.
Yikes.
And it's confusing because
It's not
they
only-
sound the same
Right.
because they come from the same concepts.
Well, and to the point, it sounds like an epiph is just a nickname for an epipling.
Yeah.
It does.
Like we don't want to say the whole word and just call it an epiph. No, it's a different thing.
Yeah, it's
and that's
completely-
important.
Epiph is the root of the word here, where epipling is just a creature based off this.
Yeah, like a halfling, right?
Yeah.
But it's an epithling.
But they were in fact two different things.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's just,
two entirely different things.
Oh, we got, what? The naming convention on this shit.
Well, again, that's why we're making the point to say it now.
Yep.
And I am sure through the course of this episode, one or more of us will make the mistake and as a shorthand refer to an epipling as an epiph.
Yep.
So we got to catch each other on that because they're different things. You know, the epiph itself is a location. It's funny is the genesis of this episode was a member of our Discord community, Jaro, I believe.
Yep.
One of the days, this was months ago, had a little thought experiment in one of our voice channels,
Okay.
trying to come up with ideas of physical representations of certain types of spirits.
Right.
And there were a lot of epiphlings that were brought in there and some that would really more be epiphs.
Oh.
And I thought, and this is what kind of caused this, is, well, you know, that's more of an epiph than a singular spirit, you know, kind of thing. And that's when we should do a practical Theurge on this. And then months passed. Months.
Yep.
Did you know that we have a correction that I was supposed to make back in August
Oh.
that I keep forgetting
Oh my
about?
goodness.
And we're not doing it today because it's not relevant to the show.
Oh, I was going to say, well, what's the thing? But if it's not relevant, who cares?
No, it's on totems. We'll get to it soon.
Fair. Okay.
Oh, and also epiph and epithling. I could be wrong, but the genesis of this word probably comes from epiphany.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, yeah, because it's the same idea. It's the same.
Well, they are an idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom.
It's the same idea.
Yes.
It's the idea of the same idea.
My head hurts.
So enough classification. Let's get started and talk about some stuff. So, we got any ideas of some stuff to get us started in terms of what we can lay down?
Well, do we want to go over some examples of like epiphlings that they have in books or epiphs in general, just to kind of cite that, or do we want to maybe look into more abstract spirits that aren't quite epiphs or epiphlings yet, and how we would represent them?
Well, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's what we're doing here.
I was giving some options for hopefully somebody to like latch onto one of those.
Okay, so I had this pulled up because I picked up it's essentially the Storyteller's Guide for Mage.
I believe that's called Quarter in Your Ear.
It's called the Book of Mirrors.
That was close.
Close. It was pretty close.
It's called the Book of Mirrors. And the Book of Mirrors, being mage, does have some spirits in it. And it actually has an entire section on epiphs. Oh, sorry, epithlings. Caught myself there.
There's one.
There's one. But it has an entire section on epithlings. And there is one epithling in here that has a name.
Okay.
It is a epithling of pain. It's a pain spirit. And I thought this was interesting because there is also a spirits of pain, an epithling, in the Axis Mundi. and they're described relatively differently in each of these books. So in the Book of Mirrors, it describes it as cutting, slashing, ripping, biting, stabbing, shredding, abrading. Bundles of sharp projections whirl through the umbra like masses of arc-wielded shuriken, only stop occasionally to unfold like metal hedgehogs that linger over a hapless plaything. And this Epiphling's name is Shrike. While the spirits of pain that is in the Axis Mundi, it is small impish creatures who rejoice in their obscene and unnatural physiognomy. Okay, then. Their twisted caricatures of muscle and bone defy the elementary laws of biology, and distorted faces reveal their endless torment.
Okay.
Those are two entirely different descriptions.
I was going to say, those are two
the
fun...
same concept.
Yeah, those are two fun clusters of words. But let's unpack that and work around this. For number one, we got Shrike, who has been named at this point. Yep. So that is not a Gaffling. I mean, it could be. You can call, right? But
yeah.
But most likely.
Yeah,
most likely a Jackling.
Yes. So that is a different animal. More than likely, where we get the pain spirits out of Axis Mundi are more than likely Gafflings. And we can see here, or is evidenced by this, it's not necessarily required that they all look the same. And you could really, if you were inclined to, probably measure that by the appearances gaining more autonomy based on how powerful that spirit is. It is not an official thing, but I have said it time and time again. I like to put an extra class of spirit in there in terms of the greater and lesser Jagling, because the spectrum of Jagling is so vast. It's so vast.
Yeah,
because it's everything slightly smarter than a Gaffling, right?
Yeah.
2 pack totems,
right?
Yep.
That's so
which to potentially just weaker than like an Incarna,
right?
Huge scale.
You could also base their appearance off of not only like their power scale, but also where the idea is stemming from. Is there something going on in the story or in the world in this area that's causing the pain? And how does that thing that's causing the pain make the spirit appear? So while the Shrike here is described as actual like items or objects that are causing pain, while the pain spirit, just the general pain spirit, that's described as more of kind of like a body horror kind of pain.
I'm going to say that's a fun thing with Shrike specifically, because when you said the name, I got a completely different image in my head of what this creature is and what it looks like. Just like with pain spirits I don't think I've ever actually read that description of them in Axis Mundi. I've never imagined them as those little goblin, like gremlin sort of things. Because I mean, honestly, that's kind of what it sounded like a little bit to me.
A little bit, yeah. Just like muscle gremlins, like body horror.
So like one of the ways that I've always depicted pain spirits, depending on the type of pain, it's especially like Gaffling sort of thing. It's always been kind of like an ever twisting, rotating, and folding in on itself mandala of razor blades, broken glass, arcing little sparks of electricity, needles. Implements of pain constantly folding in on itself and all at different angles that just looking at this thing, you're getting cut probably. And then with Shrike, I'm imagining something more along the lines of the needles, if not like because Shrikes are the little birds that like to impale bugs and small rodents and lizards to save them for later. So like the idea of the like hedgehog, I could almost see the metallic hedgehog or porcupine with quills made of just various sharp objects.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of Metal Sonic at this point.
Fuck yeah.
From the end of Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's more of physical pain. What if you're looking at more like emotional pain?
That's I have used that kind of spirit in a game before.
Okay.
And it was more just an individual that I was like, I described the spirit as looking like a person. But as the pack looked at this person or spirit that looked like a human, they had a feeling. They had that emotional pain as they were looking at him. Person
cool,
just
yeah.
like looked very like sad. Their clothing was like rumpled and dirty. They had like their like face was that of like a frown, but like that had never smiled before in their life. And they had an overwhelming sense of like loss and pain about them.
I have a fun detail that you can add for like what they sound like, their voice. It's a haunting sound, something quiet, something very meek but familiar. It's a old memory, something that you can't quite place, but it sounds like somebody
You once knew.
you've never said goodbye to.
Oh
Or you've
yeah,
never got to say goodbye to.
that's fun. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty emotionally painful. I can almost see that as in it might even look different to everybody who looks at it.
And yeah, in theory, an Epipphling could
Well, it
take
could.
on a different representation. Sorry.
It could, but you want to be careful about that.
Yeah.
All right. Because, and if you're going to do something like that, do it to a smaller scale. Make certain details personal. Because what you don't want to do is find yourself in a situation where you're in the Umbra and you're dealing with this spirit and you want to make it important and impactful. And then you describe it 4 times.
Yep.
Right. You were going to ruin your pacing. You're going to take people out of it while they have to wait and hear 3 descriptions of the same damn thing that's different to tailor to them.
Yep.
And it's going to cause a dissonance with your group too. So maybe keep it to a smaller scale, perhaps a face that resembles someone of personal emotional pain, and have that face twist as it speaks to the person, not in general.
Yeah.
I like that idea. That's a good idea.
So, like, as it's speaking to Ricochet, Ricochet might see the eyes of one of his old pack mates that has fallen.
Right. Or and then it kind of morphs as it's speaking, and maybe even, to tone into temperament of the spirit. Right. So it starts that way. And then Ricochet does something uncharacteristic and says something dumb. And it upsets the spirit. And so now the spirit doesn't resemble a little bit like the old packmate, but now it looks like KT and Doug kissing.
Oh, okay.
Right. Because now it's weaponizing something in your mind that will hurt you because you upset it.
Right. No, I get there's the funny part to it, but no, you're absolutely
Yeah, no, I'm not.
serious.
I'm not being funny. Yeah, this is
Because of no.
I'm using Ricochet because there's that easy
Right.
thing to pick on there. That
It's a spirit. It's a spirit of pain. It is pain, and it knows how to hurt you.
right.
Yeah.
So it's pulling from your psyche to do so.
I like that idea. That's good. Yeah, and it weaponizes it. Yeah, that's a good way to put that.
Right.
Shit.
It's always going to do something that tugs at you because that's its nature.
It's always going to be something that hurts.
But if you have disrespected it a little, not enough for there to be a problem, because that's another thing too,
Yeah.
right?
Yikes!
But you've annoyed me.
Here's a little bit of retaliation.
Yep.
I know what's gonna. Yeah.
This is a fun little detail that I just thought of with this is the it might weaponize that pain. But if you make this spirit happy, it's still a spirit of pain. So its features might change to somebody or something similar to somebody that that it was a painful loss, but it was somebody you were close to, somebody you cared about. It's the idea of you're getting to see them one more time. Like, what was your old character's grandpa that was super important to them?
Oh yeah. Okay. Grandpappy for Cecilia. Mm-hmm.
But I can imagine her talking to this pain spirit. If she's doing everything great, if she's doing everything good, it taking on similar features to them, be it the voice, be it mannerisms or whatnot. Not to make it hurt necessarily, but you know, this was a good thing for you. Yes, it hurts, but you got your time with them.
See, when you said to make a pain spirit happy, something entirely different came to my head.
Like spanking?
And this is... What?
I said like spanking?
Close.
Oh, no.
So, like a pain spirit, if it's happy, it is still a spirit of pain. And perhaps it starts to morph itself into something that you might find joy in experiencing pain.
Well, I think that's kind of building on what CJ said there, right? The grandfather is the example. Yeah, he's gone, so it's kind of painful, but it's good in a way because you're getting to see him one more time.
Yes. Mine is a little bit more sadistic in its meaning of perhaps it is to Ricochet Doug, who is the one being portrayed now, but Doug looks like he is in pain and being tortured.
Okay.
Or a hated enemy in that moment just before you rip them apart.
Yeah.
Or in the process of.
That, yes.
Sadistic indeed.
But see, and this is where we get to the line. Because that
Exactly.
easily could maybe, and maybe even better, be applied to something like an Epiphling of vengeance.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And concepts that are really similar, like that of pain and vengeance or sadism, can really run a close line to one another.
And honestly, that's one of the fun parts with the Epiphlings of as you add more and more detail, you can narrow down the kind of type of spirit this is or get new ideas for different spirits. Like, as you were mentioning there with the vengeance, I can totally imagine us speaking to like a spirit of vengeance and it looking like Baxter holding their severed head in an arm.
Well, let's expand maybe not on that particular type. There are so many different options.
Yep.
You know, let's grab a few. Let's pick out a few fun ways to portray them, and not just physically, like is the spirit itself, right? Mm-hmm. But maybe we can pontificate a bit about perhaps a physical manifestation and method of communication.
Ooh. Okay.
Let's go with color. Let's go with color for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think let's start it easy, right? Because I mean, we're big on ringing the bell here. Good enough's not good enough. Do your best, push it to the next level. Absolutely, but let's start slow with color.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Epiphling of color, how would we portray that?
Do we have a specific color?
No,
or just
because no, because that's next. That's when we turn it up. Color is easy. This is the easy mode version now.
So I feel maybe a Epiphling of color could be just that, like a mass of all visible colors together that are like shimmering, and there's like maybe some like popping up, like growing larger, another like blue getting larger, green, purple, and maybe occasionally you see a color maybe you've never seen before pop into existence.
I kind of like that idea, but I'm going to take it more the angle of almost like stained glass. The little shards of color taking up more and more of it, forming that image of whatever it's trying to present, being made from like the predominant color, but it's always that constant shifting, changing the color. Maybe even the light coming through it is different each time.
Little shimmers popping forward to kind of give it some depth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in the few times that like the glass overlays itself, giving you those mixings of color to portray different. I would say if this is a gaffling, I would say a lot of the colors are probably, let's go with the color theory, like links to emotion. That'd be the main way that this thing would probably communicate, and probably how you talk to it.
And see, that's something, absolutely. We have talked about this before, but it bears repeating because I don't, who remembers the last time in someone's first show, that when you are speaking with a spirit, right? I mean, we've long talked about how if it's a spirit that could naturally speak a language, you don't need spirit speech. You don't need spirit speech to speak to an ancestor spirit, right?
Or like the city father of a place.
Right. But you do need spirit speech to speak to like the spirit of a toucan. Because you do not speak toucan. Toucan does not speak English or French or whatever the fuck, right? You need spirit speech to speak to the epiphling of color, rather. But what does that look like? Because I think to just, and now the difference is when you are playing that spirit as a storyteller, feel free to just talk to someone.
Yeah.
Maybe color the language a bit.
Or in my mind, mention it shifting colors to represent that mood.
Well, regardless of what the spirit is, right?
Yeah.
You make sure, you want to give something more than just, yes, I'm the spirit of jazz. That bad guy went that way. Like, that's not helpful, right? But what does it look like to actually, in the world, communicate with these things? And what does it look like to someone without spirit speech? And I bring that up right now because of what you just said, CJ. And it's something that I was, when we're talking about this, that I had in the back of my mind. If you're talking to an epiphling of color, it's expressing itself through the colors themselves.
Yep.
If it's angry or trying to warn you, it's going to turn red.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, and the level of red will dictate how angry it is or how badly it's trying to. Maybe orange is because it's warning you. Red is it's angry. It's sad because of blue.
Yep. No, it's
like called red. It's angry. Red, and it's slowly dripping molten red glass, almost like blood. No, you're about to get fucking attacked.
Perhaps you are looking for somebody, and so you're trying to portray this to the spirit as the Theurge, and you're using spirit speech. You tell the spirit who you're looking for, what they look like, and that they were last here or in this area or whatever it be. And the spirit is portraying to you not where they are, but perhaps what happened. And you see that turn red and the blood start dripping. And so the people watching know, okay, something bad. While the individual conversing with the spirit knows that, there was a fight and this person is injured. Well, you don't know where, but
let me add to you here, or just fucking come up the works, one or the other.
Yeah.
Right. I want to reject the notion of molten glass because that is glass, that is not color. Sure. However, the appearance, right? That particular way stained glass looks when filtered through light, I'm into
the colors.
Right. How the color, the aesthetic value of it, I'm into.
It's like the God ray from the sky, but just like as if filtered through stained glass.
But also, I like this formless idea as well. And I kind of want to marry the two concepts here. And where my brain is going is like paint.
Okay.
Like a glob of paint on like when you're in kindergarten, right? And there's that glob of the blue paint that you've spread with a straw a little bit. And you've blown the paint out so it's little trails going in different directions, and this thing is all free form and floating, three-dimensional, undulating and shifting with different colors, and the colors much like a stained glass, right? Filtering different ways, and the rays of light with the different brightnesses, and maybe shifting as if a sunbeam passing through it randomly and rapidly. And again, its moods and its choice of communication is done through color. But if it's talking about maybe something sad, it's blue, but it's several different hues of blue. And it's maybe you're asking about that friend and what happened to them, right? And I picture now, just literally in my head, I'm picturing, like a figure sitting on a hill with like a picnic basket or something, right? And again, this is blue. It's dark blue for the grass, and it's a midnight, like a silhouette for the figure. and sky blue starts going through like a regular, like a standard blue for the background for the sky, but like a sky blue, that lighter blue starts hitting in quick, little cuts to symbolize the rain that showed up to chase the guy away. Mm-hmm. All one color because it's sad. But if maybe you cheer it up,
it's turning yellow.
Other colors are happening. That's what that tells us Jagling versus Gaffling.
Okay.
It's funny because I can see, and this is going to absolutely portray how much the three of you are way better Theurges than me, because the first thing I thought of was a box of crayons. And the different crayons that are talking are the different colors. And yeah, the red one's talking, and the red one's going to be super mean and aggressive. And the blue one's going to be pretty sad. And the yellow one that's talking is super cheerful.
Well, now that's something I might include in an epiph of color or of art.
Absolutely.
I could see a talking box of crayons with googly eyes and shit floating around in a piff of art.
I love
because
it.
I feel like that is like something like a child would think of whenever it comes to art and color, because like crayons are what kids use.
Yeah.
So like that is absolutely something I could see in an epiph.
See, I kind of did it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It was just funny because
something.
like it was the three of you and your ideas and how much more intricate they are than what I had is clearly why you guys have done well as Theurges and why I wouldn't be.
Oh, it's the level of experience.
Yes, agreed, but...
Well, this is all very much a storyteller exercise at that. But but you see how even that idea, we took that idea and we can integrate it.
Yeah.
And again, now adding it to an epiph, not as an epiphling. I mean, technically, yes, it's an epiphling, but I would have that exist exclusively inside an epiph.
Yeah. And I could imagine you finding this epiph, if you cross over into the gauntlet one day, too close to the art room of the local elementary school. Like, this could probably be where you find that level of epiph, where if you went into like the actual art museum near the Smithsonian, I could almost imagine that depending on what display is up that day, you could almost enter into like one of those really intricate, just all black and white Japanese paintings sort of thing. It exists in that world for a moment.
And because spirits in general they become, because of influence from the world, whatever is happening in that area, like outside the art room at a school, perhaps they're learning about color theory and a few of the kids are extremely excited about this. And because of that like passion for the color and how much that is happening in the world around there, that epiph appears and comes to life.
I mean, you definitely could have something like that. But actually, now that we're talking about this, I want to transition because we're talking about color. So let's stick with color for a second, and I want to go back to that epiph itself. Because I hearing you guys talking again with the crayon thing, I'm a little excited about this, and in terms of how we can portray that as well. Because remember, epiphs have their own set of fucking rules. And they're not necessarily why they are manifestations. The pocket realm is like a manifestation of a singular concept. That's not all that it is about necessarily.
Yeah.
It can be its own full pocket realm. But here's your theming.
It's the core element of it is this concept.
Right. So because this is why I'm excited right now. This idea of this epiph of color, or rather, at this point, we transition to art. This epiph of art. It's the school art room, right? It's near a museum, right? Like you guys have both brought up. So different areas of this epiph exist as different art styles.
Okay.
You enter this epiph, and the Dream Chasers are animated.
Oh,
your body's
cool.
You're suddenly you're in Toontown. It's Roger Rabbit. You are full on, bold lined animated. And you make your way through this field or this forest or whatever. And suddenly you get abstract. You turn a corner and there are stairs leading up to a doorway that leads to stairs under the stairs that are on top of the doorway under the thing. And suddenly you are all fucking complete abstract creations. You're a series of half circles and triangles of different colors comprising your body. Mm-hmm. And you get through this section and suddenly it's the AHA video. It's Take On Me.
Okay.
Right? Everything is speed lines and cross hatching.
Oh, shit.
The world and you are changing and melding into different art styles as you traverse this realm, because this realm, it is an epiph of art. It is the singular idea of art itself, different styles and different types, and there you are as part of it.
That's awesome. That's a cool fucking image right there.
And once again, like, I could imagine each realm, each sort of art style has its own, minor rule, minor twist. Like, in the first area, the real, like, cartoony-esque style. Hey, have fun with some cartoon logic.
Yeah, you don't get hurt. You hit somebody upside the head with a hammer, and their head gets dented in a little bit for a little while, and then you just got to pull it back up.
Check this out. You guys get lost. And here's one for your games, guys. They're lost in that, your pack. Your players are lost in that first section until one of them gets the bright idea of, let's draw a black circle on the side of this rock and just walk through the tunnel.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going straight up Looney Tunes now.
I said animated, did I not?
Yeah.
Yeah. You end up in the N.C. Escher staircase where every time you go through a new door, you end up somewhere impossible just because you saw this somehow goes over here. Maybe you just got to close your eyes and just trust in Gaia. You'll end up where you're supposed to end up. You just gotta walk.
There's a huge lake in front of you. What do? Start flapping your arms really hard until you start to fly and then go over the lake.
See, embracing it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, and I felt like that was it just hit me. I'm like, oh, no, we got to talk about an epiph of art.
Yep.
Right. And then if you want to, obviously, the epiphlings in that realm, you could lean into a particular art style or method. Right. Just let it go from there. And we don't, we can move on from art. We can move on from color, but I wanted to get us started with that kind of thinking. Right. And it's the same way of if we were to have that color spirit, for some reason, you're going to get that color epiph to manifest. Mm-hmm. I think you do so through the changing of the lighting. Now, that's not something you do, but if this epiphling of red shows up, it doesn't manifest as a dude who's dressed in red. That's boring and lazy.
Mm-hmm. No, just everything is suddenly tinted that.
Right. Maybe the light red fixture in the room you're in is now red.
What's it called? The spirit of yellow, you're suddenly in Mexico in every movie. Just think about it. Think about the yellow filter for Breaking Bad every time they went to Mexico.
No, I knew what you were doing, but I'm saying now manifesting in the world, right? Mm-hmm. So it's got to have a physical something here. I think maybe it's as simple as, you're right. It's just a tint change. Everything looks a bit more that way and more or less based on maybe the spirit. Now, why you would want to have a epiphling of color manifest in the realm is beyond me. There's no reason for that I could think of, but
I feel like
you don't say no to a hypothetical.
Hypothetically, an epiphling of any color, let's stick with red, could be like an amalgamous form. As you look through it, everything is kind of that tint, but as it's communicating with you, it could take on the shape of different things. So it could take on the shape of like red ribbons or smoke trails, or it could take on the look of a flame if it's angry. It's like flame is considered, that is something that I would associate with red, and also something I would also associate with anger. It could, do things like that as well, like as something it looks like.
You could. I would maybe lean against that, because there's something that we are forgetting, is the level of understanding from these spirits.
That is fair. That would be a rather advanced spirit there.
Right. And
That would
to
be
have
an
those
Epiphling of red with a name.
right, because of those associations, right? I mean, there's not a right or wrong answer here. We're all speculating. But yeah, like I don't know that especially a Gaffling, you know, a Gaffling level, a Epiphling of red would know what the fuck fire is. Let alone its association with a human emotion.
But a more advanced Epiphling of red might.
Maybe. I would go the other or a different way though, and have it maybe take on a texture that is maybe inhospitable, or a rougher or more jagged texture. Maybe little spikes show up around it because it's aggressive, but that's not aggressive in a way that is associated with things that I mean, it is, but
The fucking magnetic liquid, whenever you put the magnet to it, it's all of a sudden all those little spikes that are constantly moving as you turn the magnet. Have y'all ever seen that?
no, but I like
know
that.
what you're talking about, yes.
Well, I mean, this is part of which is part of what makes this tricky.
Yeah.
Because sometimes our association with things can benefit the spirit in terms of communication or appearance, but sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Sometimes the spirit is just too alien for us.
Right. It just doesn't have that level of reference to other things that we do. You know, and there's an example that's in one of the books. There's a lot of them. That talks about the flower and how the flower doesn't know what the fuck the worm is.
No.
But it might understand the concept of the worm as a great drought.
Right.
You can't say, help me beat the worm in these black spirals. It doesn't know what the fuck you mean, even if you are speaking the same language.
You could say, though, there is a great drought coming and we need to prevent this.
Yes.
Can you lend your aid?
Yep. And it would understand that perfectly because it knows the absence of liquid. It knows dying of thirst. Gotcha.
And you're not lying to the spirit. Because
No, you're just putting it in, rephrasing it on its level.
Right.
It's like talking to a child. If you had to talk to a 4-year-old about the Holocaust, or about World War II, you don't lead with the Holocaust and Auschwitz. You go, one time there was a bad man who tried to do bad things, and the world came together to stop him. And that's all you need for that same 4-year-old to get the information on World War II.
Yeah,
We don't have to describe a death camp to little Susie.
Right.
It's one of those, like, a similar game that I remember was explain it to a caveman. Anytime somebody mentions, like, this new tech device they've got or this new game they're trying to, hype up, try explaining that to a caveman.
Yep.
Or whenever Oscar in the office, when Oscar explains a surplus
To Kevin. Oh, to Michael, yes.
to Michael. Your mommy and daddy gives you $10 for the lemonade stand.
I declare bankruptcy.
That's definitely one of the things with the Epiphlings that if you're running a bunch of those Gafflings, it's going to be a little difficult to communicate depending on the level of complexity and again the Epiphling itself.
But again, this is why we have this episode, though, right? To talk about some of these concepts, and let's move away. Let's get some new shit out here too, because I think we've spent too much time talking about these specifically. So go ahead, Em.
Maybe something that you might encounter or might want to add to your game.
Right.
I'm not sure that we're going to encounter an Epiphling of red or an Epiphling of color.
Yeah, that's some shit you're going to find in Flux, and that's about it.
I've got
Go ahead.
I've got an idea for a spirit that once again me and Porter have talked about, but I'm curious how you would run this. How would you do the manifestation, or how would you have your characters communicate with a spirit of night? Because this is something that had come up on the Discord at some point, and I remember I had fun with this. This was a fun one to describe, and I've got it in my head again what it was. I'm curious what your take is.
All right, this is going to be weird. I think I got something.
Okay. I mean, this is the episode for Weird Spirit stuff.
Yeah. All right, a spirit of night. So you've seen the movie Moana?
Yes.
You know, the sleeping island. Okay. Think that. But not as corporeal.
Porter has his hand raised.
Yes.
I don't even know what Marana is. Can you explain this island to someone who does not know?
Okay, so it's an island that looks like a sleeping woman.
Okay.
The shape of the island looks like a sleeping woman.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I want to be on the same page. And like,
Yeah.
you three might have seen the movie. There are plenty of
good
people who have
question.
not.
Everybody might not be a Disney movie watcher.
Yeah.
You're right. So think like the image of a sleeping man or woman. Let's just go with woman for this. But it's like huge. It's absolutely colossal. But it's not right in front of you. It's on the horizon. It's so far away, but it's absolutely humongous because this is a Epiphling of night. You've got the curve. It looks like a sleeping individual out there. And as it's like a sunset, but it's in the shades of night. You've got the blues, you've got the blacks, you've got the grays. And while it may seem really far away from you, the fact that you can see it, it is there with you. You just don't see it as a figure in front of you. And I feel like if it were to talk to you, everything around you would grow quiet. There would be like no crickets. You wouldn't hear like anything like that. It would just be like maybe like the sound of it speaking, almost like a whisper on the wind, but everything else is silent.
Now,
Okay.
the closer you get, the darker it becomes too.
I feel like you could step closer, but it's always going to be just there on the horizon. Because I don't feel like, because to me, the concept of night isn't something physical. You cannot touch it like you can color, right? It's not something that you can see right in front of you. And that's why I'm thinking it's just like this image on the horizon.
Okay.
Okay.
It might shift and move, but it's going to be extremely slow.
I have two
Okay.
inspired by that. Two of them. Number one, and this might be, I don't know how dated of a concept this is, so I got to throw that to you guys. Did you guys have the Star Lab? Is I think they called it at elementary school. The big inflatable
Yes.
fake planetarium.
Yes. Oh my God.
I wasn't sure if they still did that.
Yeah, I don't know if they do it or not, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like at least they were still doing it long enough that everyone
Yeah.
here knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Big inflatable planetarium.
Yep. So
For those who don't know it.
except all the stars are holes in the night.
Okay.
Okay, so like imagine you're standing in a forest when you summon this Epiphling of night. And the darkness grows and inflates around you like you were inflating that, that little Star Lab planetarium thing with the floor fan in the right. Except instead of where all the stars are, where it's lit, all the stars by the little thing in the middle, that's absence of darkness. So you see green and you see the tree, the brown of the bark of the tree instead of starlight, right? It's just,
Okay.
those stars are just the absence of night, and it communicates by shifting those around.
Oh,
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yeah, and creating like images and feelings and maybe even words in the sky or like constellations of absence of night
Okay.
to communicate. Alternatively, something similar but less formed, less circular,
I see what you did there.
in that it's a wave around you. The darkness is a wave around you. And it surrounds, again, not circular, not in such a man-made constructual way, but almost like a growing blob of the absence of light. Not necessarily of darkness, but the absence of day.
Right.
And it will communicate, not again through spoken word or written word or pictogram, but of the sounds of the night. Things get dark as it's around you, but it's almost as if the hour is getting later in parts of more intensity. And so you ask it this question, and its answer isn't a whisper on the wind like some spirits could do. It's not a picture drawn in the sky or the absence of nighttime, but it's the chirping of crickets and the yapping of a coyote or the hooting of an owl or the screeching of an owl, a couple of twigs snapping underfoot for creatures that are aggressively not there, but it's the sound of the night making a symphony to answer you and to answer your questions. And so to a non-Theurge, it just sounds like night sounds in a place where it's not night and these creatures aren't. Like you could be in the desert for this. This is still happening. Right.
But the Theurge has spirit speech and understands what the night is trying to portray.
Exactly. So it hears, everyone's like, oh, great spirit of night, can you give me your guidance? Where will we find the secret of Foreverton? And your pack hears wolf howl, scratch, scratch, leave Russell, cricket.
But the Theurge goes, it's over there, dummy.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, great spirit. It's 2 blocks down.
Or one of the pack is like, what the fuck is, like, are we just gonna be waiting here the entire time? You hear the sound of a car backfiring, or is that a gunshot?
Another good example, right? It sounds associated with the night.
I like that.
2 ideas I had right there. Just boom. Sorry, go ahead, Sage.
Yeah. Oh no, it's like my idea had always been something similar, but I'm playing with more the idea, summoning it into the realm. It's gotta be at night or at some way that you make this darkness.
Yeah.
Of course.
But in my image that I've got in my head, instead of, it's at night, but to summon it here, you've got a campfire before you, you summon the spirit, you're giving it the place to manifest, and that's everywhere outside of the circle of this campfire, the circle of this light. The darkness gets a little bit more intense, the sounds are a little bit more muted. When the spirit does speak, it is that symphony of the night, the sound of like trees scratching against each other, tapping on a window, stuff like that. But the entire time that you're speaking as that Theurge, just at the edge of the firelight, you can make out a shape that is vaguely human. You can't make out details, you can make out the rough outline. It's maybe not human, maybe it's lupus, maybe it looks like a Krynos, maybe it's something familiar. It's that vague concept, and anybody who's looking can see it. That's not the spirit. That's the spirit giving you something to focus on and talk to. The spirit is everything around you at that point. It's just giving you that reference point. It's being polite. It's doing the equivalent of looking you in the eyes.
I hear you. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I'm with you to a point to where this light source to be the contrast to the rest of it.
Yeah. And this would be if you're summoning it into the realm.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to say, and I was seeing, as an example, I was seeing that not a forest or the woods, but a playground.
Yep.
And in that, the entirety of the intro of Are You Afraid of the Dark is communicating with a night spirit.
Yeah.
The wind pushing the swing set.
Yep.
And the way the chain creaks in the swing set, or the teeter-totter, the seesaw, whatever version seesaw.
Yeah.
The merry-go-round slowly spinning and creaking.
Is an answer from the night spirit.
Yeah.
And if you have spirit speech, you understand what it's saying. And if not, you're pissed at your Theurge for wasting your time.
Yeah, as your Bonar Theurge is warming his hands at the trash barrel fire next to this playground.
Right, and he's listening to all of this and getting the information. But meanwhile, goddamn, suddenly not a Theurge Carly, Galliard Carly, and Nightfang are like, Jesus Christ, Ricochet, will you stop fucking around? We have things to do. Just ask a spirit, because he's a Theurge in this scenario.
Yeah, I got it. In that scenario, fair.
Your description there kind of like triggered another idea in my head.
That's what we're going for, huh?
Whenever I was a kid, this probably happened to all kinds of people, but when I was a kid, sometimes in the middle of the night, I would wake up and the room is dark, and maybe you had a chair with a bunch of clothes on it, and just for a split second, you thought it was a person or some kind of monster there in the corner.
Yep.
And as you look at it and focus, it suddenly becomes what it is. maybe the spirit manifests as something like that. There's something out there in the distance, and you see it out of the corner of your eye, what the spirit actually looks like. But when you go to look at it, it becomes what that item actually is, and then it manifests in the corner of your eye elsewhere. Through the illusion of something else, because I feel like the spirit of night isn't something quite so tangible, so it's always there in that corner of your eye.
See, I would give that to an epiphling of fear.
Oh, yes. Oh, that also works for fear. Oh, I love that for fear.
Or a would be a nightmare spirit, but that's not really an epiphling, and that's whatever. For fear. Let's stick with fear.
Fear, paranoia, something like that.
I think I ruined it.
Oh,
but there was a part of my place. It's right here, actually. Did you know what I'm talking about, Danny?
I think I know what you're saying.
I don't remember if there's an image of this I took somewhere, but the way that the shadows from like the TV would cast over on my coat rack, the shadow looked like a goddamn demon, and it was really neat.
Yes, I remember seeing this.
I don't remember where it is, because I'd love to have it to show to...
Right.
Because you can't really describe this correctly, right? It looked like a goddamn demon. It was really cool. And so like that, right? Like you go for that manifestation, and it is, like you were saying, it's that shadow now come to life. Whether it detaches from the wall and undulates about the room...
But you stare at it long enough and focus on it, and it's gone, and suddenly in the corner of your eye again, somewhere else.
Right. Or it could even just start talking, the shadow itself talking. Mm-hmm. Like the shadows, like where you see this monster, the mouth just starts moving.
The shadow kind of just comes off the wall, existing in that 2D.
Yeah, reaching towards you.
Air. Also, Porter, I'm going to be honest, you're being like, the shadow looks like a goddamn demon. It's really cool. I'm just picturing the spirit, like right now, if there was the spirit of fear in your place, being like, yes, yeah, what?
What do you mean cool?
Creepy.
I scared him. Wait a second.
You're not afraid? What the fuck, man?
Fine, I'm going home.
But... that's the thing. When you're communicating with the spirit of fear, I could imagine depending on the person, it could be that test of bravery of like, go with the code of the face sealer. Are you going to show you're afraid? Are you going to show that emotion? Or do you give into that fear? Do you give into that paranoia? Let that kind of fill you. Don't try and put on that brave face. Show you are scared. Because it is the spirit of fear. That's what it wants.
But at the same time, to fake it is supremely offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Just supremely. How insulting.
Yep. Like, hey.
Oh, don't hurt me. Dude, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right?
Now it really wants to hurt you.
Hey, Danny the Theurge, you got to summon a fear spirit. You got to put the thought out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a clown.
Oh, yeah. If it were me, I would absolutely do it. Something that were...
Like, as you're doing the calling for the spirit, as you're trying to summon the spirit, trying to get it manifest, you got to be thinking of clowns. You got to be thinking
it would be something that I'm personally afraid of.
Now, Ricochet the Theurge, it comes as Teddy Talltail.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like in my mind, the thinking of it, the putting that out there in the world is that, it's once again the kind of the bait to get it here, but at the same time, it's like, hey, it's a little bit of that. It's the opening the door, be like, hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing great. Come on inside. It's the invitation. It's here's the welcome mat. This is what gets me.
Something else there too, right? In terms of chimnage, in terms of, to please the spirit. And I want to look to a more modern approach. Record other people. Mm-hmm. I mean, we joked the other night for Backer Night, right? The idea of Danny doing a stream of playing scary games and like, oh, look at how scared he is. But scare the shit out of like a room full of fifth graders and record their screams and play it back. Pure, real, unadulterated fear. Not the
And that's
cheap
some good
shit.
shimmerage for the spirit of fear.
Yup. How fucking divine would that be as a fear spirit?
I mean, what's it called? You had the similar vein. The one time I made a fetish as a Theurge with the pain spirit involved. Mm-hmm. The material, one of the material components was the skin off of my Theurge's arm.
That's right. I remember that.
And while the spirit was summoned, he worked with the knife to deglove himself to make this fetish as that extra chimidage, since he didn't have anything physical to offer, so this is going to suck.
And this is a thing, too, that we have not discussed. And that's the why. Why are we talking about these spirits, these types of spirits? What are we doing with these?
Yeah.
Often, right, we are talking about for fetish building.
Yep.
Which I would hang out, because that's another thing we're going to talk about in an upcoming Practical Theurge. We've talked fetishes a bit before. Yeah, but this is, we're going to touch down on this too, but obviously we didn't finish talking about fetishes. There's so much.
There's way too much to be finished.
Right. But so to talk about the different types of spirits and what you would want to use and what you might actually get out of a different type of spirit. Right. A clave has a war spirit. Fucking great. I'm already bored. It's the other stuff.
Yeah.
What can you use a spirit of night for? For example, why would we call an Epiphling of night? Well, maybe to make something that would mimic the effect of something like Shroud.
I was just thinking that, yeah. You want to be able to blind them and not, so they don't have any light. So the absence of light and the absence of day is night.
Or I could imagine making a fetish using the spirit of night to allow you to see through the night. See what the night sees.
Right. See another great example. Why would we contact a spirit of fear? Maybe to make a fetish that would make people run away, that would instill fear, that would lower willpower. Maybe something that would force a fox frenzy over a berserk frenzy.
I'm imagining one of those like Aztec death whistles. The ones that sound like a person screaming in pain.
I was going to say confirmed for band name, but that's fine.
Aztec death whistle?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Band
these are
name.
actual things.
No, yeah, I've seen those, but Porter calling it for a band name is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They're going to open for 50% of forever, so.
Those dicks broke up. They sold out.
Yeah.
Dicks.
Yeah. Anyway.
These spirits could absolutely be bound into fetishes to give some kind of effect, because each of these are going to have some kind of unique things associated with it.
You know, and the type of spirit you put in a fetish dictates what the fetish does.
So, another reason for this is, we touched briefly on Epiphs and Epiphlings and the difference there. Not every concept is fit for a Epiphling. Sometimes it's got to be an Epiph. Like, I know me and you've talked about like the concept of like the 9 to 5.
I forgot how we phrased it. I was planning on bringing this up. I was going to call it a hard day's work, but the 9 to 5, absolutely. And I see that, and I'm going to be skewed here. I'm going to be region locked, if you will. Is I envision that is an assembly line.
Yeah, I knew exactly where you're going.
Yeah,
with
this is the plant.
Yep.
You know, the walls, right, of this factory, they're 20 feet in the air, and it's a thick billow of smoke at the top. And it's just heat and sparks and sweat and grease. And you can hear the assembly line rolling and the metal scraping metal. And it's hot and abrasive, and it's the entire realm.
Oh my God, it's depressing.
Is this one factory floor?
This kind of makes me think about that classic sweatshop as well, where there is a staircase somewhere that leads to the room where the person is in charge. And perhaps finding that staircase is the way out. But you have to go through this hard day's work or this 9 to 5, find that staircase and ascend it, and it's probably like never ending all the way up.
I could could also imagine after a certain point, you hear one of those like massive steam whistles go. And
Time to get back to
everything
work.
Resets.
Yeah.
Like in the Flintstones.
You know, you hear the sounds of the like old mechanical clock punch. Just
And suddenly
kind of
you're
like a
back at your
permanent
station.
drone in the background. Yeah.
And now you picture the type of Epiphlings that are there, the type of spirits that inhabit this spirit, you know, this pocket realm. You know,
Yeah.
and we can, you know, we go the spirit maybe like exhaustion's there. Right.
Yeah.
Exhaustion's there, apathy.
And it's not necessarily all negative, right?
Yeah, you could
There's-
have pride.
I was about to say pride, you son of a bitch. Look at that.
Small talk.
You know, and I was going to hit that, but I was going to hit that in a different way because another way to go with this Spirit of the 9 to 5 is the office.
Yeah.
It's just like a water cooler.
Well, exactly. It would be, you
Those are
know,
the safe zones. The water cooler is the safe zone. That's the spot of light in this otherwise dreary and depressing place.
well, and that's the thing, right? It's not necessarily hostile. It's not necessarily always that, right? Because, you know, you could get the,
Break room.
Yeah.
for example, an epiphling of relaxation or reprieve, right? You know, you go to the restroom and there's the Epiphs of Taco Bell or W5. That was me.
Seamless revenge.
You go to a cubicle and there's an epiphling of boredom.
Yes. You know, and again with that water cooler, because I was specifically going to talk about the water cooler, right? And it's this maybe a haze, because it might also be the break, right? So there's the smoke break, there's the cigarette. It's like cigarette smoke, and while you're within the fog of this smoke, you hear a constant shattering, just like off behind you to the left, always behind you to the left for the water, the gossip, the water cooler talk.
It's hard to keep a secret while you're here.
Right?
You're going to say everything that's on your mind.
I see it too. Because it's almost going too specific and too literal. Like, there are apps, like real paper pushers, and it's just people who are just absolutely depressed with a broom, just pushing stacks of paper around.
You know,
what-
we're just feeding him into a machine.
You could do that to the point where it's not loose leaf papers, it's reams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just stacks of them.
Yeah,
They're just
and they're just
around.
pushing it around.
Absolutely.
I'm imagining that water cooler talk of the pack who gets stuck here for a little while is finally like, okay, we're here. We can take a break. We can relax. It's like, okay, how the fuck do we get out of here? Ricochet, you gonna give me that $5 back you owe me? And then just the like, what? Did I actually say that? Because it was the whole like, I knew you forgot. I was gonna bring it up, but can't hold back. It's that moment for the gossip.
And suddenly the scent of like microwave fish
Oh,
or
stop it.
cabbage or something just
Oh, God.
wafts across, you know, to represent that kind of nonsense, you know.
Or you finally get the information you need on a memo. Somebody comes and hands you the memo in front of you, and you finally have it, and you're about to read it, and then suddenly it's in a folder. Somebody grabs it, takes it up somewhere else, and it goes into a shredder.
And like,
Because important documents accidentally get lost and shredded.
Yep.
and now what's the point of being here? Now you can find yourself there. You know, the storyteller can have you find yourself there. Like you have to solve the work week and endure,
Oh, that sounds
you know,
horrible,
to
though.
get free. Maybe that. But like, why are we seeking it out? Well, maybe you want to get that spirit of pride or
And
the
he's
epiphling
stuck.
of wealth, because you do get paid at the end of the week or two, whatever, you know, you do get the paycheck eventually, right? That's what this is here for. Right. So there's that, you know, maybe you're looking for something to make a loon's refund or something akin to it, because it's a pattern spider and a loon's refund, but whatever.
Maybe you're looking for information that doesn't exist in the physical world anymore after this is where the city hall records were before they burnt down.
But see, that actual stuff wouldn't be there because this is an epiph. So it's just the idea of something like that. However, what about What about you get that office gossip, right? That gossip spirit for a fetish or a talon meant for interrogation.
Okay.
You know, you light this cigarette and you set it down here, and now the fetish, now it's active. And for the length of that smoke, anyone in that smoke has to just spill the fucking beans. They are compelled to just talk.
I like that idea.
It's like you're on a smoke break chatting with your friends. They don't even feel bad about getting rid of this information. It just feels natural.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
And-
you make it a quest out of that too. Nice.
Yeah. And it's one of those things. I'm like, 9 to 5 doesn't work as an epiphling itself.
No.
No. But as an epiph filled with epiphling, oh hell yeah.
Right. And look at the job we just did, coming up with like 2 or 3 different versions of that epiph in the first place, and the shit that can be in there.
Hey, and you know that pride one? Mm-hmm. What does pride look like normally? That's you might have a hard time describing that, but in a epiph like this 9 to 5, it's the fucking picture frame hanging up in the employee of the month slot.
Nice.
You're talking to whoever is in the frame at the time. Because here, you could have that more straightforward.
It's a mirror. The frame is a mirror, like those Time Magazine Man of the Year templates or shit. You put your face in and get your picture taken. So it's that, only the background is a mirror. So you're talking to yourself in an Employee of the Month frame, like a little fucking blue ribbon on it.
Nice.
Got a number 1. Like, yeah.
Thumbs up. Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Where,
of course, it's
pride in the realm, or in just the Umbra itself, could look like any number of things. Here it has that more like concrete physical form that's probably easier to talk to.
What would pride look like? I guess it would look different for...
Yeah.
I'm going to skip that one.
Like gold medal.
Could be a gold medal.
I don't know, first thing that comes to mind is probably like a golden lion.
Oh.
Because lions are associated with pride. You mentioned the gold medal.
Yep.
Give it that, look like it's puffing out its chest, trying to make itself look as big as possible. Like,
I want something else. I feel like we're close. I feel like we're close to time.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to settle on like one last
We talked about a night epiphling.
night and fear
that meant
and
color, art.
Yeah, that is true.
So what's in someone's heart? Anyone got anything in the chamber?
Here we go. I've got an idea.
Okay.
I'm going to target you right now, Porter, for this one.
All right.
Because the idea of this is an epiph that changes based off of either the dominant person in the room, their personality, their memory, whoever's like the alpha of the pack. What's this nostalgia epiph look like for you when us as a pack go in there?
Okay. I like this. I like that. Especially, I like that while nostalgia is specifically mentioned as an example of, they don't go into it, so we're not just pulling from a book.
That's fair.
Because, like, you can read Access Mundi. We don't need to read that to you.
No.
Not
And
you, but
I like the idea of nostalgia is different for everyone, depending on the generation. So I like the idea of it hones in on either the most dominant person in the room or, once again, like the position of leadership, kind of like the battlegrounds.
Yeah, no, and I was about to bring up the battlegrounds because it's exactly right. It's going to take the dominant will, I think, when you enter that epiph and mirror that. So for me, I could see almost a maze of suburban housing in various degrees of disarray, to the point of the nice lush green lawns in the general safety giving way to dark skies and thunderstorms and like crack houses. Right? This mixture of this, an era, or rather an aura rather, of like wonderment and a feeling of exploration. You would get epiphlings, right? Of like wanderlust.
Longing.
Yep. Adventure. because it was like, again, so me growing up, it was such an interesting era because you still had the era of children going off and fucking off on adventures all day. Right. Like I remember being 6, 7 years old and not so much when I was in Detroit, but when I was in Roseville, you know, back in the 80s, you could still wander around.
Yeah.
You know, my mother would send me to the party store to get her smokes. I mean, you laugh, but she'd call the party store in advance and go, hey, I'm sending my son down there for these. This is all right. And they'd sell you the fucking cigarettes. I'm 6 years old walking to the store to buy cigarettes for my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember walking around downtown with my friends, you know, just hanging out, sitting on a park bench, going into the coffee shop and getting a soda, walking around some more, going to the park.
Right? And, you know, like for me, there were the boundaries you were given.
Yes.
Don't cross Van Dyke. Which is meaningless to you guys, but you know, it's that particular road, right? Don't cross this road because you will get hit by a car and murdered because you're like 7.
It's one of the only like street signs that's still there in some of these spots.
Right. Yeah. And in the Epiphling, what you do with that, right? So you have this, like, it's almost like Legend of Zelda, right? You could just walk the grids and see what you could see and all this different shit to explore. But then when you hit that boundary, that's where you get like the lightning peppering the sky on the other side of that road, and it's pitch fucking black. I mean, who knows what kind of threats or whatever are on the other side, but it's like that, right? Like it's a physical boundary that's just deterring you
from staying on that side,
right? And so what kind of, again, the kind of Epiphings, there are Epiphings of music, of certain types of music, right? Certain colors or combinations of that, perhaps. You know, but again, it's very specific to the dominant will, or maybe don't do this because it's a good idea, but I know what it entails.
Oh, so warning ahead.
It's to do an amalgam of those things in this Epiph from your pack. It's a good idea. It's a neat concept to take the things that I would find nostalgic, the things that CJ would find nostalgic, the things that M would find nostalgic. I'm going to lump you in with mine.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because same region, a couple years apart.
Yeah.
But now you take all three of those, different ages, different regions, and merge those together. You know, yeah, that's a neat idea for nostalgia, but is untenable and apeshit crazy practically.
Yes.
This is the practical Theurge, so don't do it.
Yeah.
Pick the dominant
It's
personality.
one of those, this is the fun thought experiment.
Right, but...
Yeah, we can do it with you and me. We can't do it with all of us.
I feel like even as the pack, Ricochet and Nightfang and Carly have very different upbringings and pasts. It's going to be relatively hard to push that into one idea of nostalgia.
Yep. I mean, even in the broadest strokes, you could do like what was, if you're all the same age, what was a popular song in the country at the time, but that's so generic and weak and lame.
Yes.
Focus on the one and go nuts with it. But make sure you're doing it conceptually. You know, to do, Porter was from the 80s, so let's make this the Epiph of nostalgia. If Porter's playing is the 80s, I'll just make it 1985.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's boring.
I could imagine the Garu who, you know, went through their first change recently going through here. They were, you know, they're the kid who's usually stuck with the abusive parent and always was out of the house as often as they could be to escape. I can imagine that nostalgia, that, you know, that sense of safety almost bleeding into this realm, as in like maybe they were the arcade rat, you know, the kid who was just always at this arcade. While they're here, this is safe. But as soon as they start leaving the arcade, bleed in more of the, you know, the neighborhood that they used to live in, but that much darker, you know, almost decrepit, but at the same time, more just violent architecture.
And in this case, nostalgia, to me at least, is typically associated with more positive things.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Like, you know, it could be sad, but it's more of like a sweet sadness. You know, so that boundary that Porter was talking about earlier, you're not allowed to go past there in the wandering. In this case, for that individual, that boundary is going back home. So if you start walking the street to get back to your house, things are getting darker and darker and darker. You don't walk that direction. You stay where it's safe, where you have those happy memories.
Maybe that's how you have to go to get out of the realm.
Maybe.
Because, hey, you can stay here. You can stay here all day.
Yeah, but that would be...
You can have the time of your life. You can experience everything you loved. You'll just never leave.
Going towards that house would be leaving that nostalgia, those positive emotions. And yeah, that would make sense for getting out of the realm. Absolutely.
And at that point, it's as simple as the will to do it.
Yep.
Well, I think it's time to go home. And so you walk up on that porch with the porch light on because the sun is setting or well on its way.
Mm-hmm.
The street lights are on. That cool summer breeze is going through the air. And so you just put your hand on the front door and you open it, and inside is just light and the exit to the realm. And I think that's about the place to end it.
Yeah.
It's like it's time for us to go too.
So, Danny, have you ever wanted to support the world's best Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast?
You're talking Rage Across the Internet, right?
That's right. They have Ko-Fi and everything.
Ko-Fi. That's where they give out the rewards for supporting them, right?
Exactly. Such as hanging out with the game team, the rest of the cast, and as well as some good old movie nights.
Yeah, those lower tier rewards, those are nice.
They also have access to NPCs of the month from our top-notch storyteller and a extra bonus episode every month, exclusive to them.
But I like those rewards. Those are some nice, kind things that group does for everybody else.
And if you ever wanted to, you can go find it at ko-fi.com/Rage Across the Internet.
I'm going there now. Those rewards sound sick.
We are not done with this subject. We are not done with most of the Practical Theurge subjects. We will be back with new examples in the future, new ideas. I guarantee it, because this is a subject that we could talk about forever. There are so many different ideas that we can present. Hopefully, we've given you some inspirato. As usual, thank you so much for listening. We thank you. We want to thank you for your support on behalf of everyone here. At our little sept. We thank you so much. It means a lot to us. And in the meantime, I want you to take care, be good, treat each other well, and we will see you next week. Is the purge about to happen?
Oh, fuck. Lock the doors.